Right, didn't expect to be doing this in big 2026, but a video I wanted to do for a fair while now, having watched the season unfold in the way it has and the news that we've had, especially this week now that we know Marco Silva is going to make a decision on whether or not he'll extend his contract. Of course, his contract expires in June, so it's fast approaching. June, obviously, next week at the time of recording, so he will be out of contract very soon, so we'll wait to find out this week, and this week will be the final answer as to whether or not he extends that 5-year stay at Fulham, or if he departs and goes on to pastures new, which looks likely at the moment to be Benfica. But a lot of that will all depend on whether or not Jose Mourinho goes to Real Madrid again for a second spell, which will then open up the door for Marco Silva to go back to Portugal and manage Benfica. And before I sort of discuss it further, that Marco's done a fantastic job in the 5 years he's been Fulham manager. Came in the summer of 2021 at a time where Fulham were all over the place. A club who had gone down under Scott Parker with a squad that was very good on paper but hadn't delivered. I think it was 9 league goals at home all season during that lockdown season. It was a disgrace, really. And the club had... It needed a lot of direction. It was a club that was a mess, essentially, going down into the Championship once more in 2020, 2021. And it very much looked to be out of Chris Wilder or Steve Cooper as the next contender for the job, and Marco Silva come out of nowhere. It got announced that he was ready to come in and take the job, and it got announced pretty quickly as well. And I think myself, like many others, really had that concern: would Marco Silva be the right guy for a long-term project? We saw his endeavours at Everton didn't go too well. Had a good start at Watford, but then left to go to Everton. I still believe had Marco Silva had a bit more time post-Mike Phelan at Hull, I feel like he would have kept Hull in the Premier League. He had a very good reaction to going in there, and I think had he had a couple more games, he would have kept Hull in the Premier League. But look, he's come in, and ever since he walked through the door, it's just been an absolute success. The season in the Championship was fantastic, over 100 goals, winning the Championship at a canter. I still think we could have got over 100 points had we not put the brakes on once promotion was guaranteed in early April as well. It's perhaps one of the only things that I look at with slight disappointment from that Championship winning season. And since then, it's been good. Of course, the slight disappointments again are the fall-offs from February onwards. This season in particular, finishing 2 points off a Europa League place. It's a season that's, if you could file it under a category, it would have been what might have been. You go back to the FA Cup quarter-final against Southampton. A Ross Stewart penalty right at the end in the 91st minute knocked us out of the cup as well. Again, another good opportunity to try and win a cup, potentially. We pass that one up. You think back to Crystal Palace a couple of years ago at home in that quarter-final too. Pass that one up, getting beaten by the eventual cup winners. So Marco Silva's time at Fulham has on the whole been pretty stable, but it has left some questions wondering, look, what might have been in certain scenarios. Do I think he's the right manager to lead Fulham forward? I really don't know. I'm not too sure. I can make a case for him going. I can make a case for him staying. Either decision would not shock me at all. I think he's been a great manager for Fulham. Probably the best manager I've seen in terms of my lifetime at the moment, in terms of what he's done for the club. But it does beg the question, is he the right man to kick us on? On the evidence of what we've seen over 5 years, possibly not. Again, it does raise the question, be careful what you wish for. Completely understand that. You've only got to look at West Ham with David Moyes. I still think West Ham were right to get rid of David Moyes at the time, but I just think the appointment of Lopetegui afterwards wasn't the right appointment. I think had you seen, or anyone who saw his Wolves team play would have told you that as well. So it's a difficult question at the moment, whether or not Marco Silva stays. I can totally understand why Shahid Khan has chucked an £8 million a year contract at Marco Silva. In Shahid Khan's eyes, he is his best appointment he's made. So he's going to want to try and do all he can to move hell and high water to keep him. Marco Silva screams stability. And Shahid Khan, when he first bought the club in 2014, that's exactly what he wanted. So I can completely understand why they're going absolutely all out to try and keep him. He's, within 4 years of being a Premier League manager with the club, not one whiff of a relegation battle at all. And from their point of view, the hierarchy above, that's exactly what they wanted when they took over the club, when they bought the club from Mohamed Al Fayed. So, look, I can understand why they've offered such a lucrative deal towards Marco Silva. The concern I have is that it's obviously had a huge effect on the season, this, hanging over like a cloud. You go back to Glasner, Iraola, both publicly came out pretty quickly and said, look, we're moving on. It's allowed Bournemouth to get Marco Rosa in, and it's allowed, I'm sure, Crystal Palace and Steve Parish to have plenty of time to assess and weigh up possible candidates in terms of replacing Oliver Glasner as well. So with Marco Silva, it has had a big effect on the season, I feel. A number of performances we've seen in recent weeks. Wolves away, second half we were poor. Bournemouth at home, we were very poor that afternoon as well. And both of those performances especially, I think, have had a huge effect on what's happened in the background as well. Why would the players put themselves... Well, why would the players want to run through brick walls for a manager who might not even be there next season? It's a fair reflection and a fair argument. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But at the moment, I couldn't give an answer. Does Marco Silva stay? Who knows? We'll find out this week whether or not he does. But it's a big summer for the club now if he goes. They have to get this next appointment right. It's a big summer for the football club now. It's been an okay season. More stability this season. So it's a crossroads now for Fulham. Do they keep Marco Silva? Do they convince him to stay and see through this project for another couple of years, possibly, to add to the 5 he's already done? Or do we look to try and, if he does want to go back to Benfica, or if he does want to move away from Fulham, I'm not 100% sure this hierarchy are quick enough to get a replacement in, because this replacement will want players as well. And I just worry that if we get into around mid-June and we've still not made an appointment, we get into the early stages of July, into pre-season, it's a concern. And we've seen in seasons gone by, when it comes to summer transfers and dealings, we are not the quickest club to act in the transfer market. So it will be a very intriguing summer now, especially this week's going to be the outcome that we're going to find out. So once we do find out, we'll move on from there. But until then, who knows what's going to happen? It's a big summer for this football club at the moment. So we'll wait to find out.